Now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akuga as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome. This is Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I am Mamode Akuga. Today on the program, we'll take you to Ogoni land in Rivers State, Nigeria, where after about 8 years of the submission of the United Nations Environmental Program UNEP report, it does look like finally some cleanup of Ogoni land may soon commence, as the federal government handed over polluted sites to contractors recently. But not everyone, however, believes in the federal government's arranged cleanup of Ogoni land. From River State Governor Wike, Ogoni elders, and even Ogoni youths, they all seem to be saying that it's just all about politics for the federal government. So we'll bring the report which x-rays the issues as it affects the cleanup of Ogoni land. And from Ogoni land, we'll take you to Ekeremor community in Bayelsa State, where Governor Dickson seems to have conquered the very thorny issue of difficult terrain for the construction of roads in Nigeria's Niger Delta region. After over 40 years of trying to open up a road to Ekeremor community, Governor Dickson and his entourage recently drove from Yenagoa to Ekeremor community for a historic visit. Well, that successful opening up of Ekeremor community by road gives hope to Niger Deltans on the possibility of linking several riverine communities by road in the Niger Delta. And finally on the program today, we'll bring you details of a mega rally organized by Salvation Ministries Port Harcourt to announce its annual 5 Nights of Glory. Well, the event is undoubtedly the biggest gathering of Christians in the Niger Delta. As usual, 5 Nights of Glory 2019 will be beamed from Port Harcourt to a global live audience. Well, you're still watching Inside the Niger Delta. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll take you straight to Ogoni land. Don't go away.
Eyes are about to witness.
Everything you have lost in life, this is the day of restoration.
5 Nights of Glory, an enormous gathering from every nation, the word, the transformation, the miraculous, salvation. Accept Christ for exploits, breakthroughs. It's 5 Nights of Glory with David Epiomi from Monday 21st to Friday 25th January 2019, 4:30 p.m. daily. GMT +1 at Salvation Ministries, Plot 17 BRB Street, GRA Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Her satellite churches and all her viewing centers around the globe.
If God be with you, no devil can harass you. No devil, that devil has not been.
Welcome back. The federal government recently handed over polluted sites to contractors, signaling the actual commencement of the Ogoni clean-up exercise. Minister of Environment Suleiman Zarma, who conducted the exercise in Tai local government area of Rivers State, had assured that the clean-up process would follow international best practices. But other stakeholders, including several interest groups in Ogoni land, have described the Ogoni clean-up exercise as a mere charade. The commencement of the Ogoni cleanup exercise is taking place over 2 years after it was flagged off by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in June 2016. Several interest groups had expressed worry over the prolonged delay in the takeoff of the cleanup exercise, while the federal government kept reassuring the Ogoni people that it was taking time to achieve a holistic remediation of polluted sites in Ogoni land. The recent handover of polluted sites to contractors after a rigorous contracting process finally heralds the commencement of the Ogoni cleanup project, which is trailed by high expectations in many quarters. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Honorable Minister for Environment, Savio Suleiman Zarma, said the cleanup exercise will be carried out in line with international best practices, while urging the communities to take ownership of the project.
The cleanup project is a whole package designed to empower the youth, engage the women, and involve the elders. To achieve the full effects and benefits of the cleanup, I urge you, the great people of Ogoni, to continue in your unwavering support to this project and ensure sustained peace during and after the project. I use this opportunity to appeal to our youth to desist from carrying out illegal bunkering and other activities that may negatively affect the environment. I assure everyone here present that whatever is due to any impacted community shall be given.
It appears, however, that not all interested parties in the Ogoni cleanup project share in the optimism of the federal government about the successful delivery of the Ogoni cleanup project. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, who recently hosted the Environment Minister in the Government House, Port Harcourt, accused the federal government of politicizing the Ogoni environmental remediation exercise. He challenged the government at the center to withdraw money from the excess crude account to combat environmental terrorism in Ogoni land, just as it did recently with the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast of the country.
Each time election comes, there must be something that has to do with Ogoni cleanup. Since election has not come, nobody has come to hand over to contractors. Last time we had to do the run election, you came to flag off the cleanup. Since after 3 years, now we are going for the another election this February, March. You are coming again to hand over to contractors. Why must it be any time it's close to election? Why is our own case only when there is election? It's not fair. After election now, nothing will happen. I did say to federal government that while we are supporting the fight against insurgency, there's nothing like more insurgency or more security threats. Like the environmental pollution will suffer because of allowing Nigeria to survive. We are suffering by Nigeria to survive. It is through the oil that Nigeria is surviving. And we are dying because of it. And nobody wants to give us that attention. These people that are suffering because of our survival, why not give them that first priority? Let them survive. They took $1 billion from an excess crude account, $1 billion. And I said, you don't even need to take $1 billion, take $500 million from excess crude account. And to show that we are prepared for this so-called cleanup. We are tired of Ogoni cleanup, we are tired. Take money from that excess crude. We have a share. We have 13% there. Nobody wants to do it. What is more serious than environmental pollution?
The recent handover of polluted sites in Ogoni land to remediation firms had drawn the attention of other interest groups. In their reaction, some Ogoni elders have described it as putting the cart before the horse. At a recent press conference in Port Harcourt, the Ogoni elders regretted that the federal government was kick-starting the cleanup exercise without effectively carrying out the emergency measures recommended by the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP.
We are concerned that the manner and process for the implementation of the recommendations of the UNEP report run completely counter to the assurances given by the federal government. UNEP identified a number of emergency public health and other fundamental measures that must be first addressed. These measures include 1. Provision of adequate source of drinking water to the affected people, posting of signs in areas where hydrocarbon were observed on surface water, warning people not to fish, swim, or bathe in those areas. Comprehensive decommissioning of all oil facilities that fail an asset integrity management plan for Ogoni. Setting up of an integrated contaminated soil management center comprising an incinerator, thermal units, soil washing units, and a contaminated water treatment unit. The center, which should drive the cleanup, is expected to be a modern industrial enterprise in Ogoni land that would employ hundreds of people. Gentlemen of the press, we consider it very sad that as we speak, not only has nothing been done about any of these emergency measures, but also the national and international visibility of Ogoni issue has been fraudulently exploited to score cheap public relations benefits at every opportunity.
Former president of the Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People, MOSOP, Ledo Mite, alleged that contrary to assurances given by the federal government that the cleanup exercise will be holistic, transparent and inclusive, the Ogoni people are not involved in the implementation process.
If this project were in some parts of Nigeria, how many Niger Delta people will have benefited from the contract? How many? How many of you will have even known what is going on? But today they are giving contracts just like that. In fact, one of those who they say got the contract was calling, asking his direction to where Ogoni is. Now, when you see those sort of things, you ask yourself, are we a conquered territory?
The former MOSOP president also condemned the deployment of military troops to Ogoni land in the wake of the cleanup exercise, which he said must be reviewed in the collective interest of Ogoni people. In his reaction, President of Ogoni Youth Federation, Legbosi Yamabani, says the federal government action on the cleanup projects offends the sensibilities of Ogoni people.
Ogonis are tired. We are dying every day. Like you know, we are drinking benzene, contaminated water. We are drinking hydrocarbon, a petroleum substance, and government seems to be careless about it. Even when the report ought to be implemented, they are doing it in a most incompetent manner. That is saddening, and Ogoni youths are saying no to it. And that was the reason why we issued a press conference recently. That's one of the reasons why we are also in court. I don't know if you recall that we are in court with the federal government through the High Prep and the Ministry of Environment to buttress this issue further, because there's a lot of secrecy going on. There's a lot of foul play going on. There's a lot of sharp practices going on. And we are saying this cannot continue.
To demonstrate their displeasure with the entire remediation project, youths in Kedere, in Gokana local government area of Ogoni land, had set ablaze one of the buses that conveyed people to the official handing over of the polluted and contaminated sites to contractors.
Nothing, and the forest
The report of the United Nations Environmental Assessment of Ogoni Land, the first major scientific study of pollution in the oil-rich Niger Delta, was submitted to the federal government in August 2011. In its findings, UNEP had observed that decades of crude oil exploration in Ogoni land had left Ogoni communities more ecologically devastated than previously imagined, noting that it will take between 25 and 35 years to fully restore the health of the despoiled environment. In fact, in some Ogoni communities, residents had been evacuated due to the poisoned atmosphere. In those villages, the villagers still suffer several unexplained ailments till date.
We are almost dying. We are gone. We are completely dead. We still inhale the polluted airs. The air that is going, we inhale it. And we still live in this same contaminated environment. Because we have no help. Who is there to assist us to restore the environment? The UNEP report that they said at least they should send in some emergency relief measures. Have they sent? My father died as a result of respiratory problem. My mother died as a result of respiratory problem. And yet, people are having miscarriages. People are having rashes. If you see people's body in the community, in village Gokana Ogoni land, you will not like to stay here, even to lodge in any of their hotels. Because you don't know the bed you are going to lie on, whether another person that has contamination laid or lied on it before. Because of sicknesses.
From inception, the Ogoni struggle has centered on a demand for environmental justice, which is no longer far-fetched. Only recently, the Supreme Court of Nigeria dismissed an appeal filed by Shell Petroleum Development Company to stop the payment of a 134 billion naira judgment debt to Ejama Ebubu community. The suit was first filed in 1991 when the community sued Shell over alleged spills from the operations of the Anglo-Dutch giant sometime in 1970.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta, and CITIA Associates Port Harcourt River State, in collaboration with Shekinah Institute, Santin Johannesburg, South Africa, presents the 10th edition of its annual International Strategic Management and Leadership Retreat, themed Strategies for Building Personal and Organizational Capabilities for Superior All-Time Performance. Date, Wednesday 20th to Tuesday 26th March 2019. Venue, Silver Oak Luxury Apartments, 120, 6th Road, Hyde Park, Santin. Workshop fee 950,000 naira to cover workshop participation, resource materials, certificate of participation, accommodation for 5 nights, breakfast inclusive, guided bus tour of Johannesburg and Soweto, visit the Sun City Resort and visa processing. For inquiries about participation, call Chris on 080-332-80242 or call Princess on 080-205-40134. Explore the world. Call now as entry closes by Monday, February 18th, 2019.
The Bassi Anda Foundation will on Saturday, 26th January 2019, hold the 20th Bassi Anda Memorial Lecture with the theme Corruption and Development of Nigeria. The keynote speaker at the event are Professor Shola Akerenade, Provost Anti-Corruption Agency of Nigeria, ACAN, and His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, former Governor of Anambra State. The event will also witness the unveiling of the book on the late renowned anthropologist, scholar, teacher, and Africanist, Professor Bassi Anda, titled Bassi Anda, A Call to Service. The book highlights some of his many contributions to the study of African anthropology, archaeology, education, and national development, and his legacies as the first black president of the World Archaeological Congress. Venue of the event is the University of Calabar International Conference Center, Calabar, Cross River State, and the time is 10 a.m. prompt. For more information, please contact Dr. E. Edet on 0806-401-4739 or visit www.bassiandafoundation.org.
And now we take you to Ekeremor community in Bayelsa State. After over 40 years of failed attempts and outright neglect, Bayelsa State Governor Seriake Dickson finally made a historic drive through the 100-kilometer Sagbama-Ekeremor Road. The road, which is still under construction, has several bridges and has suffered many setbacks in the last 4 decades. For the people of Ekeremor, it was indeed a moment of fulfillment and jubilation as they trooped out in their numbers to welcome the governor, whom they described as a jinx breaker.
The drive from Yenagua to Ekeremor was rough, but it was indeed a sweet experience for Governor Dickson and his entourage, who were doing the historic drive to Ekeremor town for the first time. Villagers lined the roads to catch a glimpse of their amiable governor, who had fulfilled their long desire for a motorable road into their villages. Governor Dickson, overwhelmed by the display of love and admiration for him, had to stop at some points to fraternize with the people. Arrival in Ekeremor town, the atmosphere was one of a carnival. The people danced and sang in honor of a man whom they say is a promise keeper.
The governor in 2015, when he came to woo the support of Ekeremor people, did promise that is going to drive to this community, the headquarters of Ekeremor local government, by road. And today it's happening. The entire nation is in celebration mood.
Now almost into the last year of his administration, Governor Dickson says more work still needs to be done to complete the Ekeremor-Sagbama road.
It's a state government road. It should have been done by the federal government long time ago, because of the costs of this road. You came by the road and you have seen the terrain that we ventured into, the terrain that we had the courage to conquer. The road is not completely finished. A lot of money still has to be spent on it, but we have taken the bold step.
Initially awarded At the cost of over 30 billion, Bayelsa Works Commissioner Lawrence Iwurujakpo says the construction challenges of Sagbama Ekeremor Road are indeed enormous.
Akona was awarded at an initial price of 35 billion, and that was in 2013. So clearly, because of variation, the dollar has increased, and then we have suffered a lot of calamity on this road. After sandfilling, the flood will come and wipe it away. So what will sandfill? If you drive on the road, you see the level of which the sand has been washed away by the flood.
Former Managing Director of the NDDC, Timi Alaibe, and House of Representatives member Fred Agbedi were full of praise for Governor Dickson.
Driving through this road, I am impressed. I want to say congratulations to the people of Ekeremor and thank this performing governor that for once we have been able to drive through our communities and come this distance of the Niger Delta.
Seeing this road come to realization, come to fruition, is the most exciting day in the lives of the people of this local government area. And this is because we were able to support, voted a Toknadu governor who kept his promises, and today we have driven to this town.
In appreciation of his efforts at opening up Ekeremor to the world, Governor Seraki Dickson was conferred with the traditional title of Ebikombowe of Ekeremor by the paramount ruler of Ekeremor community, Chief Agbodo Baseimo.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, determined to make a difference.
And now, back to the city of Port Harcourt. It has been described as the biggest gathering of Christians in the Niger Delta, and it's organized every year by one of the fastest growing churches in Africa. 5 Nights of Glory is hosted by Salvation Ministries Port Harcourt and its senior pastor, David Ibiomie. Televised to a global audience, 5 Nights of Glory is regarded by Christian faithfuls as one of the most life-changing experiences in this part of the world. As part of activities heralding this big event, members of Salvation Ministries in Port Harcourt organized a rally to announce this year's 5 Nights of Glory. Correspondent Chika Obodozie was there.
Joyous members of Salvation Ministries Port Harcourt took to the streets of the Garden City to formally spread the word of this year's much-anticipated 5 Nights of Glory. A yearly event which has become a pilgrimage for Christian believers will be hosted by Pastor David Ibiomie, Senior Pastor of Salvation Ministries. The mega rally for 5 Nights of Glory 2019, which was attended by several members of the ministry, provided an opportunity for them to invite residents of Port Harcourt and people from all over the world to attend what they say has enormous spiritual benefits as well as social and economic impact on River State.
It's just like people traveling from here to Israel to go and pray. 5 Nights of Glory in River State for Salvation Ministry means, one, economically it is good for Rivers people because it will turn the economy around, because people will travel far and wide down to come and stay here for this 1 week. And spiritually, it rebuilds the state. Beginning of the year, when you start with God, it lays a good foundation for the state.
It is an annual gathering, as you can see on the tag. It's a night, or there are nights that you will experience favor, breakthrough, healing, and all what you think in the kingdom of God. So 5 Nights of Glory is an embodiment of grace. It's an embodiment of God's grace in human life.
When majority of people in the city are Christians, not just Christians, they hear what Papa says and they practice this kind of teaching. Businesses will grow, economy will grow because there will be integrity.
It's basically to change the entire state, to drive souls to Christ as well, and to change lives.
Other members at the mega rally enjoined Nigerians to attend 5 Nights of Glory 2019, which they assured will be worth their time. They spoke about their expectations from the forthcoming holy gathering.
5 Nights of Glory, it's a program where God changes the story of men and women, in fact everybody. So it's a night where everyone comes with an expectant heart and they always get what they want.
It's worth it. It's more than what it's worth it. No matter how you spend to come here, what we are going to benefit here is more than money, it's more than cash.
The right word meant for Nigeria should be given to
our Papa, David Ibiome, that will transform souls in Nigeria.
People with various problems, God will meet them at the point of their needs. Election is almost here. By the virtue of what we're about to do, there will be no bloodshed, because that's what we have been praying against violence.
It was not just youths and women of the ministry alone who took part in the mega rally. Senior pastor and founder David Ibiome and his wife, Pastor Peace Ibiome, joined the excited members who walked the city of Port Harcourt, singing praises to God and distributing flyers to invite citizens of the oil-rich Garden City to be part of what they described as an epic gathering of believers from all over the world tagged 5 Nights of Glory 2019. 5 Nights of Glory started in 2010 as Nights of Glory and then metamorphosed into 5 Nights of Glory in 2012. It is the annual convention of Salvation Ministries put together to set the spiritual direction and tone for the new year.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Eyes are about to witness.
Everything you have lost in life, this is the day of restoration.
5 Nights of Glory, an enormous gathering from every nation, the word, the transformation, the miraculous, salvation. Accept Christ for exploits, breakthroughs. It's 5 Nights of Glory with David Ibiome from Monday 21st to Friday 25th January 2019, 4:30 p.m. daily. GMT +1 at Salvation Ministries, Block 17 BRB Street, GRA Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Her satellite churches and all her viewing centers around the globe.
If God be with you, no devil can harass you. No devil, that devil has not been.
Well, that's our package on Inside the Niger Delta for today. Until same time, same station next week when we come up with more developments from the Niger Delta, you can follow us on our social media handles showing on your screen right now. I am Mahmoud Akuga, thanking you all for staying tuned, and bye for now.